यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे। जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधे। जय राधा रमण राधा रमण राधे। जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे। जय राधा विनोद राधा विनोद राधे। जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे। जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे। जय लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय अनंत देव लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा जय अनंत देव। जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। गौर प्रेमानंद।
This is very small way for Prabhuji. Prabhuji joined the movement in 1997, and he's a Bhakti Sanskrit teacher, and he's been doing he's a corporate training, and he's doing lots of training in corporate. Yes, today Prabhuji is going to give a class on cultivating dependence on God. And let's welcome Prabhuji by chanting three times Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, so how does this go? Are we supposed to read a verse like a usual Bhagavatam class? Start a verse. Okay. Which verse are we reading? 189. Huh? 189. Yeah. Prayers of Uttara. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakambalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Mande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Verse 9. Uttaro Vacha Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Tvad Abhayam Pashe Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Uttaro Vacha Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Twadabhayam Pashe Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Uttaro Vacha Pahi Pahi Mahayogi Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Twadabhayam Pashe Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Uttaro Vacha Yogi Deva Deva Jagatpate Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Uttaro Vacha Paripari Mahayogi Deva Deva Jagatpate Vadayam Pashe Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Uttaro Vacha Pahi Pahi Mahayogi Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Tvad Abhayam Pashe Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Uttaro Vacha Pahi Pahi Mahayogi Deva Deva Jagatpate Niyam tvadabhayam pashe yatra mrityu parasparam uttaro vacha pahi pahi mahayogin deva deva jagatpate nanyam tvad abhayam pashe yatra mrityu parasparam. Word for word translation. Uttaro vacha, Uttara said, Pahi pahi, protect, protect. Mahayogin, the greatest mystic. Deva Deva, the worshipable of the worship. Jagatpate, O Lord of the universe. Na, not. Anyam, anyone else. Tvat, than you. Abhayam, fearlessness. Pashe, do I see. Yatra, where there is. Mrityu, death. Parasparam, in the world of duality. Translation by Śrīla Prabhupāda. Uttara said, O Lord of Lords, Lord of the universe, you're the greatest of mystics. Please protect me, for there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality. Purport by Śrīla Prabhupāda. This material world is the world of duality, in contrast with the oneness of the absolute realm. The world of duality is composed of matter and spirit, whereas the absolute world is complete spirit without any tinge of the material qualities. In the dual world, everyone is falsely trying to become the master of the world, whereas in the absolute world, the Lord is the absolute Lord, and all others are his absolute servitors. In the world of duality, everyone is envious of others, and death is inevitable due to the dual existence of matter and spirit. The Lord is the only shelter of fearlessness for the surrendered soul. One cannot save himself from the cruel hands of death in the material world without having surrendered himself at the lotus feet of the Lord. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam madhirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama-shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the opportunity, and so today we're going to speak about surrendering to Krishna, developing the attitude of surrender towards Krishna. And it's a very important topic, isn't it? Like all other topics that we talk about. Okay. So, the world of duality. What is the world of duality? Anybody? In your own words? Sorry? Yeah. Okay. Both positive and negative. All right. Anybody else? Body is separate, soul is separate. So, world of duality means, like in the spiritual world, there is no difference between the body and the soul. The body is the soul. Entire body is spiritual. But here it is different, isn't it? Here this is only jada. This is only matter. The soul is spiritual, but everything else is matter. Everything else is temporary. That is why it is called as the world of duality. When it comes to the holy name of the Lord, when we chant Krishna's names, when we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna is different, his name is different. Yes or no? No? Krishna and his name, there is no difference between Krishna and his name. The moment we chant Hare Krishna, both Radha and Krishna are present in our mind, in our tongue, in our hearts. They appear. It's a different thing that the moment they appear, we ignore them. That's a different thing. That is our misfortune. But then they are present. They're very much present there. But anything else, if you're feeling thirsty, if you chant water, water, will your thirst go away? When you chant Pepsi, Pepsi, will you get the taste of Pepsi? Okay. Is it okay to drink Pepsi? Okay. So this is why it is a world of duality, because there is a difference. I cannot simply chant some name and expect, otherwise we would have all chanted money, 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 and a lot of money would have come. No, life would have been very easy. But it doesn't work that way, isn't it? But in the spiritual world, it is very different. You just chant Krishna's name and Krishna is there. And by Krishna's mercy, that is present even in this material world. That is why the holy name is a gift from the Acharyas. The holy name is a gift from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu into this material world. That is why Narottam Das Thakur sings, Golokera Prema Dhana, Harinama Sankirtana. Prema Dhana, it's a wealth of the holy name. Golokera Prema Dhana, Harinama Sankirtana. And from the spiritual world, this holy name has come to us. So it's a great gift. So, what is Uttara? She is in great anxiety because that is the nature of the material world. What is the meaning of the word Vaikuntha? Without anxiety. And this is Kuntha, which means it is filled with anxiety. Correct? So pure devotees also, though they are personally free of all kinds of anxiety, but they sometimes exhibit anxiety to show us that what are we supposed to do? Living in the Kuntha world, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to behave when we face anxiety? And that is how she runs towards Krishna and she is shouting, Pahi, 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 means please protect me, please protect me. Now, why was she running? Where was she running from and why is she running towards Krishna? What is she asking protection for? Yeah, Brahmastra, right? Released by Ashwathama. Okay. So Ashwathama, very interesting personality himself. He is known to be a Rudramsha. He is an incarnation, a partial incarnation of Lord Shiva himself. Okay. That is why he is also one of the immortals in the sense, in the Chiranjeevis. Of the Chiranjeevis, he is one. So he's still there. Ashwathama is still there on earth somewhere. There are some historical accounts that say that in the southern region of Subramanya, you've heard of Subramanya? Kukke Subramanya. In South India, towards Mangalore, the forests of Kukke Subramanya, it is said that Ashwathama still wanders in those forests. And of course, now he is a changed man. And he lives like an ascetic, a sadhu. So he's there. Anyway, so this Ashwathama, however, from his childhood, he has been extremely loyal to Duryodhan. And why was he loyal to Duryodhan? Because Duryodhan had taken care of him when he was a child. Ashwathama's father, Dronacharya, was a very poor Brahmana. Brahmana is supposed to be poor, but he was so poor that he did not have even enough money to give milk to his son. So his son, Ashwatthama, had never seen milk in his life. So when he would hear that children are drinking milk, so he would very innocently come and ask his mother, Amma, what is milk? And she would say, it's some, I've seen children drinking this white liquid. What is that milk? They say it is very sweet and very tasty, very nourishing. And his mother didn't want to disappoint him. So his mother would just take some atta and she would mix it with water. And she would, it would kind of look like milk. And she would say, here you go, this is what milk is. And he would drink that. And he thought that was milk. So one day he was drinking that. And Duryodhan saw him and he said, what are you drinking? He said, I'm drinking milk. Duryodhan smelt it. He said, this is not milk. This is some atta and water. Oh, he said, I thought this is milk. Then he said, you've never tasted milk in your life? He said, no, I've never tasted milk. So Duryodhan said, then come along with me. From today, you'll have no shortage of milk. So whenever you want milk, how much ever milk you want, I will give you. So there were pots of milk because he was the prince, right? So he supplied pots of milk, how much ever Ashwatthama wanted. So after this particular incident, he became completely devoted to Duryodhan. So these are relationships based on such material aspects. Another person who became a good friend of Duryodhan was much later, was Karna, right? So all of us know about that. We need not elaborate on that right now. But these are all relationships built on such material perception. Somebody gave me money, somebody gave me something, somebody gave me some sweet rice, prasadam. Is that material or spiritual? That is spiritual only. Okay. So you can give, but the idea should not be that I'll give prasadam so that this person becomes my friend and supports me and all that. We should simply give, that if prasadam means mercy, you simply give mercy. That's all. Anyway, so Ashwatthama was very devoted to Duryodhana. And after the defeat of Duryodhana, and Duryodhana was lying down on the battlefield in the Mahabharata, Ashwatthama goes to meet him and asks him, I'm sorry, I could not protect you. And Ashwatthama was still alive because he is Chiranjeevi, he cannot die. So he was there and he asked Duryodhana. Duryodhana said, I know I'm going to die anytime. His hip was broken and by Bhimasena, and he was flat on the ground and he was waiting for his death, a very painful death. And at that time, Ashwatthama approaches him and he says, I'm really sorry, but is there something I can do? So he says that if I cannot be the king, then even the Pandavas, they should not have a lineage, and make sure that they don't have any children and kill all of them. If you can do that, if you're truly my friend, kill all of them. Ashwatthama said, yes, sir, I'll do it. So immediately he goes in the middle of the night. He had a boon. He had a boon by Lord Shiva, because he's also a Rudramsha. So he had asked once, he had meditated and he had asked Lord Shiva that give me the strength to defeat the Pandavas. Lord Shiva said, no chance. So they said, he asked, give me the chance to at least defeat them for one day. For one day at least, give me an opportunity. Lord Shiva was not in the mood that day. Usually Lord Shiva is in the mood, he says, Tathastu. But that day he was not in the mood. So he said, no, I can't do that. You can't defeat the Pandavas. Then I meditated so much, something you need to give. No? So he said, okay, one day, in the absence of the Pandavas, except for the Pandavas, you will be able to defeat everybody else. No other warrior will be able to stand in front of you. And that one night, Ashwatthama, he rained fire. Mahabharata explains that he was like a big ball of fire. He just rolled into the entire army of the Pandavas. And this was after the war. They were all sleeping. They were all in their camp. The Pandavas were far away in their camp. Now the army, their camp is there, no? So he just rolled into that entire place like a fiery ball. with the anger and the prowess of Rudra himself, and he killed everybody. He killed everybody, and particularly he killed the 5 sons of the Pandavas. The 5 sons of the Pandavas, he cut off their heads. And these were young boys, very young boys, and they were sleeping. And they wwere sleeping. A Kshatriya would never attack someone who's sleeping. But he did that. It was a very shameful act because he was so desperate. And Lord Shiva knew that this person does not have the capacity, mental or emotional capacity of being a Kshatriya. That is why Lord Shiva did not bless him with those boons. And it's the same reason why even Dronacharya, his own father, did not want to give Ashwathama the secret mantra of the Brahmastra. He didn't want to give it to him because he knew that, I know he's my son, but you need qualification to hold the Brahmastra. Will the Indian army give any of us the buttons to the nuclear weapon and all that? No, no. Suddenly, someday we wake up in a bad mood, we just press the button. So that is why they don't give it to us. There's some very qualified people with proper temperament, and the rules and regulations are there. And there's only one person who can manage it. And that person is the head of the state who can manage the nuclear weapons. So one needs qualification to hold those weapons. And this was taught to Arjuna, Brahmastra, how to invoke the Brahmastra through mantra. These are subtle weapons. They are not physical weapons that you carry in a quiver. They are very dangerous that way. So through a mantra, you invoke that Brahmastra and you can release that Brahmastra. So this was taught to Arjuna, but those who learn that also learn how to withdraw that Brahmastra. They know how to release it also, but when the job is done, they know how to withdraw it also. Because if you don't know how to withdraw it, it can destroy the entire universe. Okay. It is so potent that it can destroy everything around. But because it's a subtle weapon, you can also target it only to one person also. Such an advanced technology. Even China doesn't have that. Very advanced technology. So this Brahmastra, and it works like a kind of like a torpedo. You know how torpedoes work? You can put a certain location and you can leave that missile and it goes all over, but it will not blast until it hits that particular target. So the modern technology has something called as a torpedo. So maybe an idea from our Vedic scriptures, I don't know. So this was also kind of a very advanced version of a torpedo. Now, he killed the Pandavas, the sons of the Pandavas, and later on he was arrested. He was arrested. Bhimasena pinned him down to the ground. They wanted to snap his neck and kill him off. And at that time, Ashwathama was also screaming in pain, because if you get into the fists of Bhima, then you cannot be smiling. He will be crushing us. So Bhimasena was crushing him. He would have crushed him to death. And then the discussion amongst the Pandavas were who should kill him. Arjuna should kill him or Bhima should kill him. Imagine being in that situation. You know, who should kill? So both Bhima and Arjuna saying, no, I will kill, I will kill. They were like that. And who else was saying kill him? Krishna himself was standing there. And Krishna himself said, yes, we should kill him. Except for one person who said no. Mother Draupadi, right? So she is a form of the goddess of fortune herself. And Mother Draupadi, she was there and she said, no, let him go. So they said, why? What do you mean? Because she truly understood. And remember, the Pandavas were ready to kill him. And he was actually unkillable. He was a Chiranjeevi. But by the blessings of Krishna, the Pandavas, Bhima and Arjuna were so powerful that all the blessings of the universe and all the demigods, nothing works. If they want to kill, they can break all the rules of this universe and they can kill him. Even if they have the blessings of being a Chiranjeevi, etc. In fact, Bhimasena has killed many such so-called unkillable people. They had many boons. There were many sons, many demons who had boons that they cannot be killed, etc. Bhima would go and break all the universal principles and kill them anyway. So they would say, cheating, you can't kill like this. But Bhima says, I don't care. So Bhima was like that. So they were ready to kill him. And no rules of the universe could stop Bhima and Arjuna, so powerful. And Krishna was willing. But deep inside his heart, Krishna knew that he should not be killed. Let it be a test. And I want to see what Draupadi will do in a situation like this. Okay. So at that time, Draupadi said, I've just lost my sons. And I know the deep anguish and the pain that a mother goes through when a child dies. And remember, this is not few years later. This is immediately. Her sons just died. And in the night they died, in the morning, Ashwathama is caught. And imagine the hurt, the anguish, the hate that an ordinary person would carry in their heart. But Draupadi forgave Ashwathama and said that he is not only the son of our teacher, the most respected Dronacharya, but also his mother, such a devoted lady. So she has already lost her husband, Dronacharya. Now she has to lose her son also. This is a great misfortune for a woman. So let that not happen. So on the word of Draupadi, listening to what Draupadi said, Krishna smiles. And Krishna says, okay, if this is what Draupadi wants. And then Krishna removes, there was a crystal, a mani, on the forehead of Ashwathama. Krishna removes that, says that that was a gift by Rudra. That was a gift. So Krishna says you don't have the qualification to carry any divya gifts. So he removes that from his forehead. And he says that henceforth you will lose your mind and you will be a madman and you will roam the world till the end of your life, which is till the end of Kali Yuga. You will roam around like a madman. Okay. So he roams around. And having been released by the Pandavas, for a Kshatriya, being killed is one thing, but being forgiven by another Kshatriya, that go, I will give you your life, go live today, is even worse than death. Right? So if we don't feel like that, that means we're not Kshatriyas. Somebody wants to kill us and says, Chalo, I'll give you your life. Thank you so much. We are so happy. So that is because real Kshatriyas are not there anymore. Very few are there. Maybe. I don't know. But a real Kshatriya will feel hurt. Remember, even when the Pandavas, Bhima and Arjuna, they fought with the Gandharvas and they protected Duryodhan at that particular point in Mahabharata. Because one person went from here and told that, Duryodhan is in trouble, and Yudhishthira Maharaj sent both of them. They came, they defeated the Gandharvas and protected Duryodhan. Duryodhan wanted to commit suicide that night because he's a Kshatriya. Kshatriya cannot tolerate that somebody gave me life today and said that, go, live your life. I'm giving you pranadhan. They couldn't. So he wanted to commit suicide. And when he wanted to commit suicide, Kali himself appeared and said, hey, why are you committing suicide? Don't do that. And all the asuras from the lower planets also appeared around Duryodhan. Said, don't commit suicide. Yeah? We have great hopes in you. Right? Our future depends on you. And all our power and blessings are with you. So this was in the middle of the night. So in the middle of the night, if anyone appears to you, that means you are an incarnation of Duryodhan. Okay. So Duryodhan said, so he got hope. They gave a nice motivational speech to Duryodhan. Duryodhan felt very good about it and said, okay, suicide cancelled. Back to duty from morning. But he killed that guy, that soldier who went and asked for help from Yudhishthira Maharaj. He killed that fellow. Okay. So this was Duryodhan. Now the same thing happened to Ashwathama. Ashwathama was so angry, so angry. They just let me go like a dog on the street. They said, we just let you go die. Die your usual death that you're supposed to live like a dog. They just let him go. He was so angry that he invoked the Brahmastra. How did he know how to invoke the Brahmastra? His father, Dronacharya, taught him that. Because even though Dronacharya knows that he is not qualified, he He was begging his father that, please teach me. Everybody, even Arjuna knows. And you're not teaching it to anybody else. You taught this only to Arjuna. So you must teach me, no? Something at least. Then I'll just be this weak person on the battlefield. Please, please. He kept begging his father. So his father said, okay, I will teach you. And his father taught him how to invoke the Brahmastra. And how to withdraw the Brahmastra, his father did not teach him. He said, that lesson, I'll teach you tomorrow. And then he said, tomorrow. And somehow he thought if he doesn't give the entire knowledge to his son, then he will not use it. Because it's very dangerous, he understands. If we teach you how to drive a car, but if the teacher tells you, but brake, I will not teach you. Right? Only accelerator. Then you'll be worried, no, to drive the car. I don't know how to stop the car. So the same thing, he assumed that Ashwathama will not use it. But Ashwathama, who never used it on the battlefield, at this time, because of his frustration and he was so angry, he said, I don't care, anybody can die. So he invoked the Brahmastra. And at the same time, Arjuna also invoked his Brahmastra. And both released their Brahmastras on each other. And it was Vyasadeva who comes and stops both of them. And he says that, hey, no, stop. What is this Brahmastra business? Everybody will die. Stop this. If two Brahmastras collide, everybody will die. Withdraw it immediately. So Arjuna, because Vyasadeva is Krishna himself, he's a supreme lord. So he accepted it. He paid his obeisances to the Brahmastra and he chanted another mantra and he withdrew the Brahmastra. And now it was the turn of Ashwathama. And he said, Gotila, I don't know. I don't know how to withdraw Brahmastra. So then Yudhishthir Maharaj told him, fine. What you can do is release the Brahmastra in some other isolated direction where nobody lives. Maybe a mountain, maybe some empty space somewhere. Release it there so it goes and explodes there and it doesn't harm anybody. So release it in that direction. And Ashwathama said, okay. And at that time, he thought, how are they going to control where this Brahmastra is going to go? I can control it. And the future, I've already killed the children of the Pandavas. But a future is still there in the womb of Uttara. And what is that baby's name? Parikshit. So he was there in the womb. And he's going to become the next king after the Pandavas. I must destroy the legacy of the Pandavas. I must kill the lineage. So he pointed the Brahmastra in the direction of the womb and let it go. Nobody knew about it. He let it go. But Uttara, sitting far away at home, sorry, she was not at home, she was in the camp because after her husband died, Abhimanyu, she had come there to the battlefield and she was also in the camp, but she was at a distant area, of course. She was pregnant and she started feeling extremely uneasy. There's this intuition that she's just feeling that something bad is going to happen. And she was very uncomfortable that something is going to happen. Like, am I going to die? What is going to happen to me? And she could feel some uneasy heat, burning heat coming towards her. And she knew something terrible is going to happen. And she could visualize the Brahmastra chasing her. So with all her strength and all her might, she ran. She ran towards Krishna, shouting, Pahi, 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 running towards Krishna. Remember, everybody else was there. The Pandavas were there. The mighty Bhima was there. Arjuna was there. And they are very capable of stopping the Brahmastra. But she doesn't reach out to any of them. She reaches out only to Krishna. And Krishna, after this battle, he had just boarded the chariot. He was ready to go to Dwaraka. He said, now battle is over. All of you can wrap up and go home. I have to go to Dwaraka, go back to Dwaraka. I've stayed away from Dwaraka for a long time. So he went to, he was just boarding his chariot. It's only after this incident later on, Kunti Maharani's prayers and all that start, right? In the next segment, after this whole incident of Uttara. So she ran towards Krishna. And now this is not out of some disrespect towards the Pandavas that she ignored them and she approached Krishna directly. But this is her natural inclination, her natural love towards Krishna, that she is dependent only on Krishna. And she's so sure that nobody else in this universe can protect her. Even if they could be mighty protectors in this universe. But for me, it is only Krishna. Just like, say, if there is a small baby running around, playing around, there was a small child somewhere here. So running around, playing around, right? So suddenly, let's say if there is some kind of a dog or something that walks into this and starts barking. There are many of us are here. We may be able to chase away the dog. But who's that baby going to run to naturally? Right? Towards the mother or the father, whoever is close by, right? So immediately he'll run because, oh, there you go. So immediately the baby runs to the father. So why does it run to the father? Because that's the natural inclination. Yeah, I know there are many big people here and they all can stop that dog. But for me, it is only my parent. And it's a natural inclination of a child to run not to anybody else who may be closest. Running directly, even if the father or mother is far away, they'll escape everybody else side, and they'll run towards the parent. That's the natural inclination. This is the natural inclination of a devotee also. A devotee does not run to anybody else. There are great protectors in this universe. There are great protectors who can protect us from many of our problems. Health problems, financial problems, whatever else, family problems. There are many people who can solve it. Even some minor demigod can come and solve all our financial health problems. We need not even go to Swarga. Even slightly lower planets like maybe the Gandharvas. You ask some of the Gandharvas, I have too many EMIs to pay. From his pocket money, he will give us some money. It's over. Right? That's how much money they have. So all our needs will be taken care of. They can bless us with good health. We will never fall sick. We will eternally be young. Anyone wants that boon? So like that, all these boons can be given by anybody. But a devotee doesn't run to anybody else because our natural inclination for a Vaishnava is to run towards Krishna, no matter what the situation is. It can be the smallest issue. It can be the biggest issue. We only run towards Krishna. Sometimes we do that in even amongst devotees. When we go to an astrologer or something, they give us some other remedies. Go to this devata, go to that devata. But should we do it or not? Yeah, the astrologer will tell us many things, but we never go to anybody else. We only go to Krishna. And Krishna observes that. Krishna observes that. Think about it in your own personal lives. If you have a child at home and if your child is going to some neighbor's house and other's house and asking, give me some food to eat, how much it will break your heart, isn't it? Wouldn't you say, Arey, why don't you ask me? Tell me what you want. Yeah? I'll buy it for you. I'll cook it for you. Whatever you want, I'll give. You think I'm not capable of how hurt you would feel that when I'm there, why are you going to somebody else? Imagine what Krishna goes through. When Krishna is there and he's completely capable of protecting us, Saksham, completely capable of taking care of us, and we approach somebody else, that you protect me, that you take care of me, etc. It's very heartbreaking. Even the Lord has a heart, no? If our heart breaks, why does our heart break? Because originally he's there and he also has a heart and his heart can also break. And devotees can do that to him. So he says, okay, fine. Go take help from somewhere else. If you don't need me, go and take somewhere else. Ultimately, everything comes from Krishna. But we need to remember that. Because Krishna, just like devotees are very possessive of Krishna, Krishna is also very possessive of his devotees. Very possessive of his devotees. He doesn't like his devotees going here and there. If he's allowing us to go here and there, that means he doesn't consider us devotees. He says, okay, if you want to go, you go. But he's very possessive. With pure devotees, he's very, very possessive. So, and because he's possessive of us, we also become very possessive of him. I always, whenever I talk about being possessive, I remember this pastime of Lord Ramachandra and Hanumanji meeting Ramachandra for the first time in Kishkinda, Karnataka. So when he meets Lord Ramachandra, Sugriva, from far away, he sees these two handsome princes coming. And he says, these two human princes, I think they may have been sent by Vali, because Vali cannot enter that mountain because of a curse. So he said, Vali has sent them. Go and check. So he tells Hanumanji, why don't you go and check? I don't trust them. Hanumanji says, okay, because he sent Hanumanji because Hanumanji has many siddhis, he can change his form. So he changed his form to that of a Brahmana. Then he goes and he meets these two princes and he asks, who are you? Where have you come from? And very eloquently, the Brahmana speaks so eloquently. And Lord Ramachandra fell in love just with the way Hanumanji spoke. So beautiful the way he spoke. He looks at him, and Lord Ramachandra was so proud, just like a father looks at a child speaking very beautifully, that's why parents do that when relatives come. Very irritating for small children. Sing one song, tell one poem you learned in the school. Baba Black Sheep, you tell us. So when the child recites, the parents are happy, and the relatives are bored. Okay, very good, very good. So they do that. Just like that, Lord Ramachandra was so happy to look at. Nothing is hidden from Bhagwan. So he knew who he is. So just looking at how he is speaking so eloquently and so softly and so nicely with chosen words, he was so happy. So then he asked, Lakshmana is always very alert and careful. And Lakshmana knew that this is not his real form. Could he be a demon coming in a different form? So Lakshmana asked, reveal yourself. Who are you really? Because this is a Vesha. This is not real. Who are you? So at that time, Hanumanji shows his form as a Vanara, in his real form as Hanuman. And so Lakshmana became very alert and careful. He took out his bow and arrow and he said, who are you? Hanumanji said, you have no fear from me. I am Sugriva Duta, Hanuman. Lord Ramachandra was standing in front. Lakshmana was standing next to him. And Lord Ramachandra takes a few steps back. He walks backwards. And he tells Lakshmana, you speak to him. I have nothing more to ask him. Because Lord Ramachandra felt bad that you are my Duta. How can you say you are Sugriva Duta? That's how possessive the Supreme Lord is. So Hanumanji, being so intelligent, immediately he realized what is going on in the heart, because that's a symptom of a Vaishnava. True Vaishnava understands what goes on in the heart and need not be spoken. They understand what is there in the heart of the Lord. Draupadi understood what was there in the heart of Krishna. Śrīla Rupa Goswami understands what is in the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale. Mana Abhishta. He understands what is there in the heart of Mahaprabhu. Only a pure devotee can do that. Krishna may say something. Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita should not be given to anybody else. No, it's a secret. But Śrīla Prabhupāda gave it to everybody. Krishna said, don't give it to envious fallen people. Prabhupada found the most fallen people and gave it to them. Because a pure devotee understands, he may say many things, but I know what is in his heart. So Hanumanji immediately knew what was there in Lord Ramachandra's heart. He was standing, he just fell down on his knees and he started weeping. He started weeping and he said, Bhagavan, please forgive me. And Lakshmana was confused. He said, what are you asking forgiveness for? What did you do? And this was a moment between the Lord and his pure devotee. And Hanumanji said, henceforth, I will be only known as Ramaduta. And I'm not loyal to anybody else, but only you and your cause. That is my only position. He's eternally Ramaduta. But he showed this particular pastime to show that this is what the Lord also expects from us. So let us not go here and there and ask for help from somebody else, because Krishna is there, and Krishna is there in his multiple forms, varied forms, as Lord Narasimha, as Varahadev, as Vamana. So any form that a devotee is closest to, your heart goes out to that particular form. There is no hard and fast rules of which particular form in that sense. Generally, Gaudiya Vaishnavas are attracted to the form of Krishna through our sampradaya, but otherwise, these are matters of the heart. Love cannot be directed and forced upon somebody. Maybe somebody is attracted to Vamandev. Maybe somebody is attracted to Lord Ramachandra. Maybe to Lord Narasimha. Maybe to Lord Varaha. These are all matters of the heart. And that is fine. That is completely okay. It is still within the ambit of Krishna. They're all Krishna. They're not different from Krishna. Only in the rasa and the mood they are different. So this is how the Lord is. So Ashwathama, after releasing this, Krishna immediately jumps out of the chariot and he realizes what is going on. But the blazing heat of Brahmastra had already entered the womb of, it had not hit her yet, but the heat had already entered the womb. And it was burning. It can burn an entire planet. Even before it hits, just the heat can burn the entire planet. But the baby Parikshit Maharaj in the womb of Uttara was able to tolerate that heat. Even the baby was tolerating that burning heat. That is why even before Parikshit Maharaj is born, he's called as Mahavira. Mahavira. He didn't have to take birth and be a king to prove himself. Even in the womb, he was a Mahavira because he was able to tolerate that heat, even though it was killing him. And immediately Krishna creates some kind of a cover through his energy around the womb. He enters the womb of Uttara. Krishna is physically present outside, but simultaneously he is there inside the womb of Uttara. And Parikshit Maharaj has darshan of Krishna. Parikshit Maharaj is in so much pain because of the burning heat. But at that time, he finds Krishna. And Krishna protects him from further harm. Later, the baby is born, but the baby was stillborn. The baby did not have life. As in, life was there, but there was no movement in the body. And it was practically dead. Okay. So, Ashwathama felt that he had done his job. So, the will of Krishna is so powerful that Krishna says Krishna doesn't have to follow the rules and regulations of this material world. So immediately, Krishna says that you think with all your plans, you've executed your plan, your great mastermind, your great master plan, you've finally executed it. You, Duryodhana, and all your friends. But you don't realize that I am presiding over the Pandavas. I'm always presiding over my devotees. And Krishna brings back Parikshit to life. He brings him back to life. So, this is what we learn from Uttara, that she runs towards Krishna and she doesn't run towards anybody else. And this is what we need to learn. And there are many devotees who have done that in the past also. We can see that what is constant, however, is that the tears of Uttara. She cries for Krishna. You see, this is constant amongst all devotees. All pure devotees cry for Krishna because that is how Krishna listens to us. There is one Acharya that explains that in the future, everything is going to be expensive. Everything is going to be expensive. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. Pushpam is already very expensive, no? So expensive to buy flowers and all. Flowers are expensive. Fruits are expensive. Once upon a time, they all used to be very cheap. So even during Krishna's time, it was very cheap. You can get it for free also. Trees are there, fruits are there, go pluck it and offer. And that is why Krishna said, Patram Pushpam, at least give me Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, some water at least. So because water was free. Today, if you want pure water, you'll have to pay for that also. Isn't it? See all the water cans here. Don't we pay for it? If free water, we will die from the taps. So if you want clean water, you need some kind of a machine. You need to spend money and all that. There will be a time probably when even oxygen is going to be sold. I already heard about, like in places like Delhi and all that, they have these oxygen cylinders that you can, small ones, and it's supposed to be really cool, apparently. You just put it on your face and put a strap, and people are walking around like elephants. And they're thinking that it's, with one a tank in their nose. And they, and with all their nice clothes, and they think, wow, modern civilized society. We don't have air to breathe. So we have, with all our technology and science, we have cylinders hanging from our nose. So this is, so Toyam, someday even water is going to be very expensive. So one of the acharyas say, what do we do if we don't have water? He says, there is one water that is always going to be free and pure. And that is the tears of a devotee, our own tears. And that Toyam, that water can be offered to Krishna. As long as we are alive, that water will not stop. I mean, it's a poetic thing. Don't collect it in a glass and all that. It's a poetic statement. So we have to, disclaimer has to be there. Then somebody will, after 6 months, will say, Prabhu, I've been offering every day. It's not coming, but I'm squeezing in someone. So these are poetic statements by acharyas. That a devotee has to cry. It means we have to cry, and Krishna is very satisfied. When we, not that we are crying out of anxiety, out of misery, out of pain, we are crying for Krishna. We are crying for Krishna. So, even later on, after this particular incident, Kunti Devi, Krishna is going, and then she starts crying. She starts crying, and she says, why are you leaving? Krishna says, all problems solved. So I'm going. So Kunti Devi says, that is the problem, that all our problems are solved. Please give me more problems. Anybody wants to chant that prayer? No. With your heart, really meaning it, asking Krishna, give me more problems, he will give. Then don't cry after that. So, so she was asking for problems, and she was saying, give me more problems, give us more problems. Because when that building was on fire and all of us, the Pandavas were stuck there, including me, you were there, you protected us. When Bhimasena was poisoned, you were there to protect us. When we were thrown into the forest, you were there to protect us. But the curse of Durvasa Muni, with his 10,000 disciples, you were there to protect us. But now that all the problems have gone, Krishna, you're leaving and going. Don't go. She was weeping. Uttara was weeping for Krishna. The Pandavas were weeping for Krishna. That why did we solve all the problems? We don't want these problems to solve because this means that you're going to go away. So please stay. Gajendra was crying for Krishna. He was in pain. The crocodile was biting him. He fought. He did everything. But ultimately, he only knew that only Krishna is the only protector. Nobody else can protect me. And he chants, Gajendra Moksha prayers are there, no? He chants for the Lord. And how does the Lord come? Immediately he comes. Immediately on Garuda. There is one temple in Tamil Nadu where even today the deity, where they say that Gajendra Moksha happens, even today the deity, they don't dress him properly. His dhoti and shalya are all very loose. You know why? It is said that in Vaikunta, the Lord was dressing himself. And he heard the prayers of Gajendra. And he did not wait that, hold on, let me just tighten the dhoti and all that. He didn't wait. He said immediately, my devotee is calling me. Immediately he jumped on his Garuda and he went down with loose clothes and he's not wearing jewelry. So the Lord is celebrated like that. He doesn't wait. Immediately. Hold on a second. No, hold on a second. Immediately Krishna comes to protect. That is Krishna. And all these devotees have cried, the gopis have cried for Krishna. Everywhere, Lord Shiva is crying for Krishna. We sing, no, in our evening arati, how Lord Shiva is crying, Shukadev Goswami is crying, everybody is crying. That is a symptom of a devotee. So it is said that when we cry in pain and anxiety, then our tears are hot or warm. Okay. But you cry in devotion, then your tears are cold. Don't hold a thermometer and check and all that. But that is how it is. So we should not cry in front of the deity. In fact, it's an offense to cry and howl in front of the deity. You have so many problems in my life and you're not protecting me. That is an offense. It's an aparad to Sri Vigraha. But if tears roll out of the eyes of a devotee when they are praying to the Lord out of devotion, out of separation, that is celebrated. But at the same time, we should not cry with the intention. Sometimes it happens. We may feel a certain emotion towards the Lord and we may have tears in our eyes, but that should not be something that we should show to other devotees. I got tears in my eyes and such an amazing devotee in the middle of all of you. None of you are realizing this. At least today realize who I am. So devotee happens. Huh? These are all false egos, so subtle and hidden. It will come out at some point. So these are very personal moments between Krishna and us. It should be very personal. Should just leave it to that. Not everything is for pradarshan. Right? Many people do that. Today from darshan, it has moved on to pradarshan. I just feel so, because I've been going to Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan, happens in Mayapur also, but particularly happens in our Krishna Balram temple. Amongst devotees, not just non-devotee visitors, even devotees, all of them these days are so popular on Instagram and YouTube and all that. All of them are making vlogs and videos for Instagram. And the beautiful Krishna Balram are standing there and they'll bring out their cell phone. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. You can see Krishna Balram here behind me. Oh Bhagavan. Who shows their back to the Lord? It's an offense to show your back to the Lord. So you face the Lord, have darshan. And you're so busy to show this, your own darshan to the rest of the world, that we forget that Krishna Balram, they themselves so beautifully are standing there. Instead of absorbing ourselves with them, with a beautiful kirtan by the devotees, everybody is just busy with their phones. Such dull-headed behavior. We shouldn't do it and we shouldn't encourage others to do such things also. Devotees are welcome to be popular on all social media for preaching and other things, but this is really very stupid. Shouldn't be done. Okay, so this is how the devotees are. Toyam. We can offer the water from our tears to Krishna. That is how it is. What time am I supposed to stop? 9 o'clock? Around 9, right? That's the usual time. Okay, all right. Another thing is, when you think of Sharanagati, okay, complete surrender to Krishna, asking for the protection of Krishna means Sharanagati. So what is Sharanagati Tattva? Sharanagati Tattva, or the 6 principles of Sharanagati. Can somebody tell me what are the 6 principles of Sharanagati? This is from Vaishnava Tantra, quoted by our acharyas also. Yeah. Yeah. Anukulyasya sankalpaha, pratikulasya varjanam, then rakshishyati vishwasaha, then goptritve varanam. Before that, one more, atma nikshepa and karpanya. These are the 6 principles of Sharanagati. What is the meaning of it? The first one, anukulyasya. So how do we surrender to Krishna? It's not just some abstract thing. There is a process. Acharyas have revealed the process of how to surrender to Krishna. First one is anukulyasya sankalpaha. whatever is favorable to Krishna, to my bhakti, anukulyasya sankalpaha, that I take an oath that if I do this, this is going to help in my Krishna consciousness. Anything that is going to help in my Krishna, anukula, anything that is anukula for my bhakti, sankalpaha, I make a promise that I will do it. Hence we say, I'll chant 16 rounds, I'll follow 4 regulative principles, I give up onion dosa and cappuccino, right? I'll give up all of that, and I have only Charanamrit. I'm dedicated to Krishna. Anukulyasya sankalpaha, pratikulyasya varjanam. Whatever is pratikula to bhakti. And what is pratikula to bhakti? Any food items, any sangha, association of non-devotees, somebody who is not a Vaishnava, somebody who is attached to sense gratification, stay away from them. Stay away from them. Because you spend some time with them, they will pollute your mind. Even a little time. Sometimes you cannot avoid it because all of us may be working here and there and we may meet people. But even in that association, not that everybody outside is a terrible person. There are some decent people there also. Keep in their association. Sometimes you may find people who are always talking about the opposite gender and vulgar in their thoughts and their mind. Stay away. Disgusting. Stay away from such people. Because that pollutes our mind. And always spend time with sadhus. That is that as much as possible. The more time you spend with sadhus, the more anukula it is. So anything that is pratikula, we give away. Okay, anukula, pratikula. Next one is rakshasi iti vishvasaha. That avashya rakshibe Krishna. This is a sign of a devotee. That Krishna will definitely protect me. A devotee sometimes approaches Krishna helplessly. So Vaishnava can sometimes feel helpless. It is okay. It is natural to feel helpless. But a devotee is never hopeless. A devotee is never hopeless. He always has hope that Krishna will ultimately protect me. And Krishna's protection is very unique. Don't expect Krishna's protection to come in the same package all the time. Even if Krishna kills a devotee, that is his protection. Because one may ask, he protected Parikshit Maharaj, but Abhimanyu died. Where was Krishna at that time? He could have created something. No, Abhimanyu had to die. And that is also Krishna's protection. Sometimes in our Sangha also, devotees die. Isn't it? In our temple also, it has happened sometimes. Nice Vaishnavas who are serving nicely, preaching nicely, suddenly we see they met with an accident and they may die. It is heartbreaking. I see devotees are heartbroken at that time and their faith is shaken. They said, Prabhu, how can this happen? You told in your class that Krishna will protect, then how did this devotee die in an accident? That is also Krishna's protection. Why do I feel that if somebody dies in an accident, it is not Krishna's protection? Or somebody dies out of a disease, it is not Krishna's protection. I think like that because I feel this material body is all in all. But for Krishna, it is nothing. Krishna has seen us in so many. I mean, will you cry if the kurta you're wearing right now? We may feel a little bad. Hey, nice kurta. I bought it for this much money and it tore. But then it's okay. You move on to another kurta because you see so many kurtas in your cupboard. Krishna has seen so many of our bodies. One body goes, he says, why all of you crying? It's okay. You get another body. That's fine. Or I've taken him back to Vaikuntha. Sometimes Krishna, he just, like when we get hurt, we put a bandage. I really hate taking bandages out because, it's like that when you take it out slowly. So what's the best way to remove the bandage? Rip, right? And momentarily you get angry, but it's done. Rather than, slowly, painfully, removing it. But you can't do it, so somebody else will do it for you. Isn't it? We take help of. So Krishna does that for us. Because he's given us a lifelong pain and struggle, all that is there. But I'll feel pain today. Krishna, protect me. And Krishna gives slight protection. Then I become very happy. Then I forget Krishna. Then I have to wait for the next pain. Then I become happy. Then pain. Then happy. right? There is one example of, there was a construction going on, many floors up, 20 floors. So one person, by mistake, one construction worker, his 200 rupees note from his pocket, it falls on the ground. And it falls down. So one guy at the bottom, so happy. He picks up that 200 and he puts it in his pocket. So he's shouting from there, hello, hello. And that person can't hear, 20 floors, he is at the bottom. So what he does, to get his attention, he takes another 100 rupees and he drops it. He, at least, money is falling, you must see where it is falling from. Again, 100. He took that 100, he put it. Then he dropped a 500, at least because of 500, let him look. He took that also. Today, all my prayers are being sanctioned. So he put the 500 also in his pocket. Right? He's not looking up at all. Finally, this worker, he picked up one stone and he put it on his head. The moment the stone fell, he looked on top. Hey, who's throwing the stone? When Krishna is blessing us with all wonderful things, we will just say Hare Krishna and be happy. The moment he gives us a problem, we will look up. Krishna, I am your devotee. From so many years, I'm chanting Hare Krishna. Why did this happen to me? Isn't it? That's why in Kannada, there is a saying, Sankata Bandare Venkata Ramana. So whenever there is Sankata, we remember Venkata. Otherwise, we don't remember Venkata. Isn't it? Don't we all become very nice, wonderful devotees when we have problems? The other day, I was coming back. I was going to Coimbatore a few days ago, beginning of the week. And I've never experienced this in my life. I was in the plane. And maybe because of the weather or something, I've flown so many times. I keep going to Coimbatore often. But then this time, there was some kind of turbulence in the plane. Oh, Krishna, I've never experienced this kind of turbulence in my life. I could feel the entire plane moving like this. It probably went through a cloud with a lot of water and all that. So much of turbulence that people were screaming. I've never heard this before. The entire plane, people are shouting, screaming, and there are lots of people there because Coimbatore is famous for this Jaggi Vasudev's Isha Foundation. No? So there are lots of people with all kinds of malas and saffron and all that, and they're all traveling to go there to the temple. And I was also there. I was not going to Isha Foundation. I was going for something else. So when on the way, people are shouting and everybody suddenly they're praying and all that is going on. And I prayed too. I was also thinking, oh, Krishna, immediately I just thought, my Lord, please take care of my family members. Please take care of everybody. I think this is my last. And, took out my chanting bag from my bag, removed it, put it around my hand. And if I'm going, let the mala be in my hand. So I just chanted, I just started chanting Hare Krishna. This went on for nearly 5 minutes. Air hostesses sitting and beep, 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 lights all, fluctuating like that. So it just seemed like Hari Bol, finally. Huh? None of the devotees realize how amazing devotee I am. And before that only I'm dying, right? So all those thoughts came to my mind. But then by the mercy of the Lord, the plane kind of settled down and became normal. But I continued to chant. But I was looking at the others. Immediately, everybody was like, I felt like vomiting. This happened, that happened. Everybody followed maybe 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, they're all opening bhujia packet and eating bhujia. They moved on with their life. So I was just thinking, the moment there are problems, everybody starts praying. The moment, only 30 seconds, they just gossiped a little bit about that. And after that, everybody's opening bhujia packet and eating and all that. So I was just thinking how we are, human beings. That is why the Lord gives problems. This is why when a devotee also has problems, we celebrate problems. Okay, celebrate, not physically celebrate. And we don't celebrate for others' problems. When you celebrate your own problems. If a devotee comes and tells you, Prabhu, too much financial issues, Hari Bol, let's celebrate. That he will feel bad. But you celebrate that Krishna is doing this to me for a particular reason. But if a devotee is in a lot of anxiety, we can always go and remind them also that, Prabhu, I also had this. Or Mataji, you know what I went through? I went through this also in my personal life. And somehow, by Krishna's mercy, I learned later on why it was a good thing for me. I really wanted something, but I could not get it. but now I realize why. That was Krishna's mercy, like that. So Krishna's blessings are very unique. Sometimes it can be very painful also. Just like a doctor, surgery and all that, very painful, very troublesome, but it's good for us. It is good. Okay, so let's not expect, these are false expectations sometimes. A devotee once told me this because of all his financial problems he's been going through for some 2 or 3 years. So he told me, Prabhu, for 5 years I'm chanting, Prabhu, 16 rounds. Okay, I don't know, he felt I'm some Krishna's complaint manager, something I can go and, so he came from 5 years, Prabhu, I'm chanting. And I have, from last 3 years, I have financial issues. Krishna is not doing anything. So give me some reason. So why you're asking? Why are you asking me? I'm not some complaint manager of Krishna. So I asked. I just generally told, it's okay, Prabhu. These things, karma sometimes happens. We have to sail through it. What to do? This is how life is. He said, Prabhu, I'm chanting 16 rounds. Some discount at least. I said, discount? What are you buying? Carrot, beans? What are you buying? What discount do you want? These are expectations, false expectations. A devotee never has such false expectations. Even when it comes to spiritual mercy, we never have false expectations. Don't expect that somehow I will go back to Godhead. Free. I know I have material desires. But Krishna, you don't find devotees like this. Krishna knows that. He will take me in the end. Don't have such false hopes. We may not go back to Godhead. Okay, but we live with that hope. It's okay. Someday, if Krishna wants to take me back, he will take me back. Remember how many lifetimes Mother Devaki and Vasudeva, how much of tapasya they have done to finally get Krishna as their child. Finally, they got Krishna as their child. And how many children they had to lose before that. Kamsa came and killed all the children, no? Imagine the pain that mother and that father is going through. So many children dying in front of them as soon as a child is born. Kamsa would come and slam them to the wall and kill them immediately. We can't even imagine that pain. And they were going through that pain. After lifetimes of pain, and in this particular lifetime also going through such intense pain, finally Krishna appears, the Supreme Lord, from the womb of Devaki. And immediately, Krishna orders that I can't stay here. Take me to Yashoda Mai. And Yashoda Mai, we worship today Yashoda and Damodar, not Devaki and Damodar. After everything she has gone through, Vasudeva had to carry Krishna and take him somewhere else. And all the Bala Leela, the childhood, beautiful, unique childhood pastimes was with Mother Yashoda, not with Devaki. So unfair, no? Yes or no? No. So Devaki, but you look at the attitude of Vasudeva and Devaki. They never complained. They never complained. They're just so happy that Krishna is happy. They see happiness in Krishna. Krishna, if you are happy, I am happy. Because they have no independent happiness. There is no independent happiness apart from Krishna at all. How can I enjoy without Krishna? Krishna wants to be somewhere else. He wants to be taken care of by someone else, which means that's his desire. That makes him happy. And because he is happy, I am happy. No expectations. I meditated so much. Who meditated so much? Whose children were lost? Why you're going there? Right? Ordinary people would have complained like that. After everything we went through. But then they never complained. They said, okay, Krishna wants to go there. Let them go. And Krishna chose Vasudeva to protect him. The protector chose Vasudeva to protect him. And does Vasudeva have a history of protecting others? He has never won any war in his life. He was not able to protect his own wife from Kamsa at the time of marriage. His own wife he could not protect. He could not protect his own children. But Krishna chose him. That I want you to protect me. I don't have any qualifications. I can't protect my own wife and my children. Why are you asking me to protect you? Call somebody else. Call Hanumanji maybe. Call Garuda. You have such powerful people. Why are you asking me? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam explains that Vasudeva, one of his names is Shauri. Shauri means the most courageous and brave person. But he has never done anything like a brave person. Why is he called brave? Because in all circumstances in his life, he never lost hope. Despite all the pain and struggle that he has gone through, he never lost hope in Krishna. He said, Krishna is there. Krishna's protection is there. And I will wait for Krishna to come. And patiently, both Devaki and Vasudeva waited till Krishna finished all his childhood pastimes. He went to the Gurukula. He finished all his schooling, education, everything. And finally, after 12 years, Krishna goes to protect them, release them from the jail. If we were there, we would have had so many complaints, no? But not Vasudeva and Devaki. This is surrender. Okay. So, what are the 6 again? Anukulyasya sankalpaha, pratikulyasya varjanam, rakshishyati iti vishvasaha. 4th one, goptritve varanam. Okay. Accepting Krishna as the maintainer. That Krishna is my maintainer. Not my LIC policy, HDFC account that I have, ICICI, Prudential. They're all there. Okay, that's fine. They are whatever we have to do in our material world. But that is not my ultimate protector. My maintainer is Krishna. Goptritve Varanam. Krishna. Okay, that's the 4th one. Then the 5th one. Atmanikshepaha. Complete surrender to Krishna. No withholding this, no withholding that. That is the meaning of Dandavat Pranam. What is the meaning of Dandavat? Fall like a stick. What does that represent? That represents that I have no other hope. I fall like a stick in front of you because nobody else can protect me. You are my only hope. You're my only maintainer. And there is nobody else. Atma Nikshepa, completely Kaya, Manasa, Vacha, dedicated to Krishna. No holding back anything. And the last one is Karpanye, means humility. And the entire thing we do with humility, not with pride. Not thinking that I am somehow special. I donated this much. They should give me special something, you know. I distributed this many books. So Krishna, they should announce my name. I did this kind of service. So they may announce, they may not announce, but it's okay. If Krishna knows, it is fine. That's all is required. Why does everybody else need to know about this? So if you're serving in some way, do that with humility. If you're chanting extra rounds, then don't have to go and tell anybody about it. If you're doing some extra fasts, don't have to tell anybody about it. Sometimes some devotees, we may chant 32 rounds. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, where were you? Yeah, I just finished my 32nd round. How are you, Prabhu? So it's a very subtle way of letting someone know that I chant 32 rounds. I'm 16 rounds better than you. So you better show respect to me. These are subtle ways, right? Prabhuji is doing Nirjal. Oh, you're not doing Nirjal, Prabhu. For us, it is Nirjal only. We can't. Even air, we take only 2-3 times a day. That's all. So these are all different ways. Slowly we show, I established this, I did that, we did this, we did that. We don't tell it like outsiders very openly, but we have our own unique, subtle ways of explaining, right? Something we did by Krishna's mercy. We'll add that in the end. We'll say something, and by Krishna's mercy, we are able to do it. Great, wonderful. So these are all very subtle things. Maya is very subtle. Maya knows that if I give cappuccino to these devotees, they will not fall. If I give onion dosa to these devotees, they will not fall because they've given up all of that. So let me give them something that they will fall for. Let me package it well. I'll package it like bhakti. It will look like bhakti, and then I'll present it to them. That is why a devotee has to be very alert, very careful when glorification comes our way, etc. Prabhuji, Mataji, so senior, so nice, so this, so Haribol. That's all. Thank you. You don't have to be awkward and all that. But just, okay, take a compliment if it's coming your way. Hare Krishna. But in your mind, you can, otherwise, devotees also give all kinds of dialogues here. You're so, no, Prabhu, I am not worm. I'm worm of the stool's worm stool there. Like that. Are you okay? Calm down, calm down. It's okay. So many worms, so many layers of worming. It's not required. So it's okay. Just take a compliment. Somebody said, okay, Prabhu, nice kirtan, very nice. Thank you. Hare Krishna. But in your heart, you should know what kirtan I can do without the Lord's mercy. Thank you, my Lord. Something you're engaging me in. I'm able to sing. Thank you very much. I'm able to speak something. Thank you. I'm able to do some book distribution. Thank you. I remember when I was a brahmachari many years ago. I was in a train. We used to go from Bangalore to Arsikere. There are these trains. So I used to board these trains up and down. So, we used to carry these huge, gigantic bags loaded with books, Bhagavad Gitas. And we used to go with this, that by the time we come back, we should come back with empty bags. Okay. That also was a matter of pride. Came back, empty bags, Prabhu, throw it. Tomorrow, 4 bags. All these are ego only. But anyway, so I carried these 2 big bags and I entered the train and I said, looked at all the people sitting there. Chalo, I have to distribute books. Akraman. So attacked everybody with philosophy and books and, take this and big philosophy. If you read the purport, Krishna is saying this, he revealed this, he did that. Bhayankar philosophy I'm giving to everybody. Not one person was interested. Chalo. They're all doing this, treating me like a beggar. And Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki, Yashoda Damodar Lal ki jai. Okay. So, at that time when I couldn't distribute books, what happened was I struggled. I tried, but finally no books were going. And I was really frustrated. So I carried the bags out. Not one Bhagavad Gita went out that day. With all my great philosophy and speaking softly and nicely to people, nothing worked. I just carried my bags and like a defeated soldier, I stepped out of the train. I said, okay, I just need to end the day. Today is just not my day. It's not happening. So I just sat in the railway station and the 2 big bags are there. And I remember a drunk man, fully morning, 11 o'clock, he's drunk. Sunday, maybe Sunday special that was. So fully drunk. And he came wobbling, his clothes are all, he came wobbling towards me and he was staring at me for some time, sitting, because I was wearing saffron, shikha and everything. So he was looking at me and my bags are, I didn't care. I thought some drunk guy, railway station, they'll be there, all these characters. So I just ignored him. And I was sitting there and chanting. And he said, you fool. Okay. And he's one of those Anglo-Indian beggars. They speak English and all that. So he said, you fool. And I immediately recognized my position. who will know? So I said, yeah, you're talking to me. He said, why are you sitting here not distributing your books? Okay, eloquent English, because these Anglos, they speak English quite well. He's a Christian guy, And so he said, my name is Thomas. I think it was Thomas. And he said, why not give your books, spiritual books you should give. So I just ignored him. What is he, fallen soul. So I just moved on. So drunk guy who wants to engage in a conversation. So then he told me, I'm talking to you. See, if you don't go, they will not take. I said, so I wanted to get rid of him. I already went in the train. It's okay. Then it's not going. Right. He said, because you're not desperate. You're not desperate. That is why. If you're desperate, they will buy. You fool, go. Second time he called me fool. Who? What is this? So much of insult. Right? Now I'm used to it. But those days, new brahmachari was not used to it. So I got inspired by this drunk Anglo-Indian Christian guy. So I carried the bags. I said, okay, and then I went inside and I, with defeated, ego, defeated, very low self-esteem, This time, no philosophy and all. I just carried the book and I said, Hare Krishna, I'm coming from ISKCON. Would you like to buy a Bhagavad Gita? I was ready to get rejected. They said, how much? 150 rupees, but discount is going on, so 80 rupees. They said, okay, I'll take 3. Why? Okay, take 3. So they took 3, and this way I just, Bhagavad Gita just went. And the next compartment, people are calling me. I said, no, books are over. They said, Acha, can you get more? How much time do you have? They said, there's 2 hours journey in the train. So I called some devotee, they called some center, they arranged for Bhagavad Gitas, and I could sell more than I could handle that particular day. So Krishna, many times, he can speak through anybody. That is Krishna's whim. Krishna's whim. Our whims will not work. But Krishna's whim, he'll speak through anybody if he wants to. He will inspire us through anywhere. But a devotee should be able to catch Krishna in all circumstances. A devotee sees Krishna everywhere, even inside a pillar. Isn't it? A devotee sees the Lord even inside a pillar. He sees Krishna everywhere. Under every circumstances, he sees the Lord. Anyway, on this note, with humility and remembering the Sharanagati Tattva, we already have the formulas given to us by our Acharyas. These are the great gifts of the Lord and the devotees. So keeping this in mind, we'll close the class today. Once again, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki, Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Do we have time? If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Yes, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
When we see the behavior of devotees in the of like none of them kind of concentrated with what is told in the Shastras around the behavior of and Vishnu. So why was he tolerated for such a long time till that zenith of intolerance came at the end, and then he was punished. Right in front of Krishna, he was doing because he was with Adhurma, all through it, like it is not that he started associating with the woman towards the end. So why was he being tolerated for the whole Mahabharata? I mean, we understand that Krishna is planning such a way to give us some instructions that from Putra and then Kunti Maharaj is basically more. But then, how do we understand in our country? Like, are we supposed to? The reason that I'm asking because you see in the two Maharaj incident, when Prithu Maharaj was doing 100 Ashwini Vidyas, he 90 vigilance. And then he came back and he took a form of a Brahmana, the Kapalika, and then he stole the horse of Prithu Maharaj and then he went away. And then Prabhupada is writing that actually the Acharya because Indra took that false guise of a Brahmana, and then he did this bad activity. From there, the whole parampara of false brahmanas, the false Madhyasis, the swindlers that started. So my question is, if that was a case where and then Brahma came and then he stopped Maharaj from doing anything further because if he will do further, then Indra will do the same activity again, more our Sampradaya and our religion will be born. So now in this case, when Yodhana and Ashram and his own whole again, they are doing all such nonsense, physical activity, and they are getting right precedent for their coming thing. Why were they not stopped much earlier by the virtue of the Brahmanas, two Brahmanas, and by the virtue of Lord Krishna being present there? Why were they being tolerated so long?
Yeah, it's a nice question, Prabhu. This is all preparation for something that Krishna will, and by his own will, wants to temporarily bless us by controlling, but he will not stop it. And that is Kali Yuga. So that was the end of Dwapara and the beginning of Kali Yuga. So Krishna was allowing such elements to be there because the unstoppable Kali Yuga is going to come. And all of these characters are going to be role models for the people of Kali. Okay, for all the Kali Chelas. There are many Kali Chelas. In fact, the majority in this world today are Kali Chelas only. They're all devoted to Kali. And but I have not seen Kali. I have not experienced Kali. They're just some words. But I need role models, just like devotees need role models. For us to be Vaishnavas, we have role models. It can be the Pandavas, etc. But who are role models for the Kali Chelas? How will Kali Yuga spread without that? So by the will of Kali and by the permission of Krishna, because whatever Kali does, he cannot do that without the permission of Krishna. So Krishna allowed it that such elements spread their prowess, even though it is temporary. Let them spread their prowess like Duryodhana, particularly Duryodhana, and all the brothers of Duryodhana, Dushasana, etc. Because at that time, disrobing a woman was unheard of. Probably something that Ravana would have probably done. But after that, nobody would even think in those lines. But disrobing a woman became, that can also be done. That was an idea that Dushasan gave to the rest of the world, that Karna gave to the rest of the world. That was originally his idea. So Krishna allowed it because these are all role models. These are all role models for people of Kali. Because without role models, they cannot spread, they cannot do, and Kali will not be able to unfold itself. So Krishna allowed it temporarily till their lifetime. But then towards the end, Krishna also gave hope to all the devotees by eliminating them, by killing them, etc., in different ways to establish that ultimately dharma will prevail. But a devotee needs to have patience. It's very important to have patience. The same goes, and Krishna tests the patience of all the devotees. And it's very important. Many times we keep wondering that so many elements are there. They're stopping Sankirtan. It can be the government. It can be so many things. They don't allow us to do this, don't allow us to do that. If Krishna can come and if he can release a Sudarshan Chakra just once, that would make things very, or at least show somebody four-armed form. That will make a lot of devotees that way. No, it is our job. It is our service. And Krishna is not going to do that. Krishna has already incarnated in the form of the holy name and the scriptures for us as Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And it's our job to reach out the holy name and Bhagavatam to many people. But Kali will always dominate because it is Kali Yuga, except for these 10,000 years. These 10,000 years, we have a little bit of a gap, but Kali is going to be there in full force. It's already in full force. You can see in so many places people's behavior and how they conduct themselves and all that. Exactly the way Duryodhan did. In fact, Duryodhan, we would consider himself, if he was there today, we would consider him a gentleman. Considering the kind of people that are there today, we would say, Asha, okay, just, what did he do? Poor guy. He just wanted a kingdom. Aren't there many people who support Duryodhan even today? Right? There are many people who say that. There are movies made on him. There is a temple for Duryodhan. What to speak of Karna? So many Karna fans are there. Even today, who was stronger, Arjuna or Karna? Talk about character, no? What is this bow and arrow like children? Who is stronger? Who is this? Who is that? And all that. Talk about character. Such a characterless person. The person who induced Duryodhana to disrobe Mother Draupadi. It's a shameless thing to do, but he did that. Many negative thoughts he would give to induce into the mind of Duryodhana also. So So in this way, if you really look at why Krishna tolerated this, it's because the natural flow of Kali Yuga had to happen, and it's unstoppable. This is how nature functions. And before Satyuga comes back, Kali Yuga has to unfold itself, and hence Krishna allowed it. Any other questions?
So here, when we see Mother Draupadi, actually objected for with respect to killing of Ashwatthama. So there, it is described as her strength, because she was able to empathize with pity. But is it actually strength or weakness? Because Shastra faces Shulama was a perfect example of Arthanaina, like this. And similarly, in Arjun's case, also we see that based on body compassion, he was initially hesitant to fight because of his own teacher, his own grandfather. But then Krishna condemns it. But at the same time, the purport Prabhupada gives him extra magnitude. He feels like it's essentially glorified. So how do we reconcile all this? So basically, it's probably compassion, weakness, or strength. How much we should emulate in our own ways.
Yeah. So that is why understanding the heart of Krishna, Ashwatthama has a future and he has a role to play in the future also. And he is, by nature, there is nature and nurture, no? So by nature, he is dharmic because he was born to a dharmic father. Dronacharya is a glorious person. It's only because of temporary contamination that has happened. Even for Dronacharya, this is what happens when you take salary from a adharmi, right? Which most of us in Kali Yuga do. That is why our mind is not completely pure. Because we go to so many organizations, we take salaries, etc. And hence it's going to affect our consciousness. And that is exactly what happened to Dronacharya. The pure Dronacharya was affected because he was taking a salary. And the same thing happened to Bhishma. Right? Bhishma is a pure devotee. However, to exhibit to all of us, he also showed his weakness. When Draupadi is being disrobed, he was just sitting there with his head down. If Bhishma Dev himself wanted, he could have killed all of them in that particular point. All of us, don't we get that rage in our heart that how can someone just sit when something like that is happening in front of your eyes? And Bhishma Dev, he sat. And how can this, but Bhishma Dev is one of the 12 Mahajanas. So how can that happen? But that was a temporary contamination that Krishna allowed at that particular point. But to set an example that you could be the great Bhishma also. But if you spend time associating with adharmis, you will also get influenced by that. And hence he also needed to die by the hands of a devotee. So Krishna allows this. So the primary principle here is to establish dharma. Ashwatthama is not a adharmi naturally like Duryodhan. Duryodhan is naturally an adharmi. Madhvacharya, Sripad Madhvacharya, he elaborates on this and he says that there are different kinds of jivas. And some jivas, like we in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we say Nitya Siddha, Nitya Baddha, right? So in the Madhva Sampradaya, there is Sattvika Jiva. They call them as Sattvika Jivas. So some people, temporarily, they may behave in a certain way, but by nature, they are Sattvika Jivas. And Sattvika Jivas need to be forgiven. So if you look at the modern judgment, the courts and all that, somebody, let's say two people killed somebody, two murder cases. But one person killed because of greed. He wanted to steal his money, so he murdered him. Another person killed because, for some other reason. This person was troubling everybody else and he had to die, so he killed him. In the court, both of you are murderers, both of them get the same punishment. But in the Vedic court, back in the day, even during Yudhishthir Maharaj, Lord Ramachandra, etc., even if the crime seems to be the same, but the judgment was different for each person. This happened in the court of Yudhishthir Maharaj also. One person, there were 4 people who killed one person. Incidentally, these 4 people, one was a Brahmana, one was a Kshatriya, one was a Vaishya, one was a Shudra. Their punishment was different for each other. So these were young princes at that time, Yudhishthir Maharaj and Duryodhana. So Dhritarashtra, he asked, what should we do? I will pronounce my punishment. So Vidura said, why don't we let the young princes decide? This will prove who can be a king and not. Duryodhana said, yeah, murder. All 4 of them murdered him. Send them all to jail. Kill all 4 of them. Dhritarashtra became very happy. He said, very good. That would have been my judgment also. So send them, kill them. Then they asked, Vidura said, let's ask Yudhishthira also. He said, no, why? It's a perfect judgment. What is there to ask Yudhishthira? No, we'll ask him, no? Acha, okay, Yudhishthira, you tell. So Yudhishthira said that a Shudra, Vaishya, and Kshatriya, he pronounced different kinds of punishment for each of them. And a Brahmana, he said, I'm not going to punish a Brahmana, but because I am a Kshatriya, I am not qualified to punish a Brahmana. We need to get a senior Brahmana to come and pronounce what punishment is there for that person. Okay, so this was a perfect judgment, because how can somebody inferior give punishment to somebody who's superior? So he said that Brahmana may have had some reason, but in the Varnashrama, Kshatriya is superior to a Shudra and a Vaishya, and equal to a Kshatriya. So you can punish all three, but a Brahmana I'm not able to punish because he's my superior. So we need to get another Brahmana to do that. And everybody applauded and everybody said this is the right judgment. So this is a Vedic judgment. So every situation, even though Duryodhana may have done the same thing that Ashwathama did, but he got a certain punishment. But a different person, a Sattvika Jiva, had to be treated differently in that situation. Even though the general principle is that he's an Atatai, still, if somebody is a great Vaishnava, like even Akrura, he also killed someone, no? But he's a pure devotee. But he killed somebody for money. And that was because of the curse of the gopis. He engaged, we'll talk about that pastime at some other time. But you cannot treat him like an ordinary person because he's a pure devotee. So the Lord does that. There are different circumstances, different people according to the... So being an Atatai, he told, Krishna also said, yes, he's an Atatai, kill him. Because he was looking at the rage of Bhima and Arjuna. Both said, yeah, we have to kill him. Because he's an associate of Duryodhan, and he behaves just like Duryodhan. But in his heart, Krishna said, but he's a Sattvika Jiva. We need to give him another opportunity. And Draupadi was able to read that. And that's why Draupadi stood for Dharma. Dharma means Krishna. Krishna is Dharma. But why did the same Draupadi, some may ask, during the disrobing, she cursed everybody and she caused the entire war. She could have forgiven at that time also. Because Krishna wanted that war to happen. Because that was Dharma. So it's not her own individual anger and my ego was hurt and all of that. Even in that dire situation, Draupadi only sought out Krishna's heart. I need to speak what Krishna wants me to speak right now. So she cursed the entire Kuru Sabha. And she could have finished everybody at that moment. She could have set everybody on fire. She's born of fire, no? Draupadi herself is born of fire. Just by her rage, everybody would have burned to death. But she did not do that. She said, in war, everybody will die. And she provoked the Pandavas to make those promises. And at that time, looking at her, Bhimasena made that promise that this Dushasana disrobed you. I'm going to break his chest and drink his blood. With my hands, I will remove his heart. And he did that. He offered it to Lord Narasimha. He offered blood to Lord Narasimha. And he tasted that blood. Acharyas do certain things, we should not do that. So he offered it to Lord Narasimha and he tasted that blood and he carried that blood to wash the hair of... these are ways of the Kshatriyas. They do that. Wash her hair with the blood. But then in this situation of Ashwathama, in Krishna's heart, Dharma was that he's a Sattvika Jiva. He has to be given another opportunity. In the future, he will have another opportunity. And Ashwathama, as we know it, Shastras, Puranas explain that he is no more, he has not lost his mind anymore. In fact, whenever there are great sages who are having debates, even in the other planets, they come here and they invite Ashwathama to moderate that debate. So he's a great mind today. He's living a life of a great sadhu. So Krishna was right that you give him a chance, momentary because of association, is behaving in a certain way, but he'll get better. Like that. That's the purpose. That's it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for a wonderful class. Okay.